Yeah, waiting for some persons to go on. Waiting for some people to go on, in the meantime. Seems like everybody busy and cook them rice and peas on the Sunday. Alright, Sash, come on. Live easy. And it looks like everybody busy cooking rice and peas in the Sunday, What about you, Kian? Not cooking today? Yes, live easy. Traditional thing. Real talk. Alright, look like some people busy, well busy in this Sunday. Alright, Bernard, see you up on the live. Big up yourself, see you, man. Okay, Sash, yeah, cook and watch at the same time. Alright. So, as I said before in the official part of the link, talking about people who seem to be smart but dumb at the same time. No one must come across a lot of people like that. Go to school and get all of the qualifications that they're supposed to get. But at the same time, they're very hard to deal with. Very hard to relate to. Them understanding level poor. A lot of people like that in society. So that's what we're here to talk about on this Sunday. What do you think about the topic, guys? Yes, Lexi, official TV, you see on it. See you clicking. Tamlin Girls, yeah, meet you through YouTube. You should go and check out Tamlin Girls YouTube channel just the same. She's a pharmacist, as far as I know. She has a lot of topics on her channel where she talk about health. She do a whole heap of vlogs just the same. So if you feel like you want to play some part in what she's doing, you can click on just the same. Check out her channel after. Really nice person. Can relate to most of her videos. Yes, Bernard. Real talk, man. A lot of persons, man. A lot of persons. We come across them day by day, basic interaction with people. Even by taking a taxi, we're going to see them. So these are the people where when you talk to them, you know so them qualified based on the jobs that they're doing, the vehicle where them drive, the house where them living, the type of things where them offer differently in society. But when you get down to the nitty-gritty of a conversation, of actually relating to them, you can't get much out of them. Because them just not understand emotional intelligence, and how to deal with people. It's a strange thing for them, them not understand how to relate to people. Actual understanding of, how somebody would react to you saying something like that. So that's why I chose this topic. Because in the industry that I am in, I come across it day by day, a lot of times. So just A shout out to everybody who come online already. Everybody who's streaming. You can share it out same way. Throw it on your status, make other persons come on. And then we're gonna get into it about 8 minutes. When I reach 8 minutes on the live, we'll get deeper into the topics. And you know, you can share your views and your understanding and some of your experiences just the same. So in the meantime, you can go and share up the link, you know, tell other persons to come on. Nice Sunday still. So, what you guys think about the topic at hand? You have any experiences you would like to share? You know, any opinions? No opinions. All right. So as I say, when we reach 8 minutes into the video, we're gonna dive into the topic and get a hold of it and dissect it. And you know, you can tell me what you think why people like this don't really understand how to deal with each other. You know, a lot of people, they're in this type of predicament. So we don't want to hear some opinions on it, you know, and what you think people can do differently. For those who tune in, you know, the persons who are watching can drop a comment because we are getting to it right now. All right, so we're at the 8 minutes now. So the introduction to this for me would be a very similar incident where we go through when we meet people. KC Vloggers TV, yeah bro, I see you. We meet somebody, right? You know, I'm at work and talking to this person. You know, the person want to buy a product from the business that I work with. But you can obviously see that the person have some form of higher finances, you know, higher in society based on, you know, simple things like money and value of the work with them put in. But when I was talking to the person, it wasn't the best experience because every time I spoke to this person, they want to belittle, you know, your whole intelligence based on what them think them know. So them on the outside looking in and saying that, oh, you work at this establishment, that means say you don't have a lot to offer when it comes down to intellect or when it comes down to society, you know. But what a lot of persons should realize is everyone in society plays their part when it comes down to everything. So it might be the taxi man, it might be the garbage collector, it might be the doctor, it might be the nurse. And you can't have everyone doing the same thing. If everyone was supposed to be a traditional career, everybody wanted to become a doctor, then where would be the other persons in society? We wouldn't have no chef when we go out and we want to get a fast food, you know. The things that we love so much, KFC, the burgers, all of those type of things, we wouldn't get them. So when you look at it, everybody is in a particular place in life for a reason, you know. But if you don't feel comfortable there, you can make a change if you want. But you just have to work with what you see and play your part in society. So back to the story. After I was, you know, dealing with the person now, after all of the belittlement and the things that they think by just judging the book by the cover, you know, having a conversation with them over time, them realize, say, I'm not just the regular guy based on what you think. So a lot of people like this go around and try to belittle other people based on the jobs that they work and the careers that they have. So them think it will make them better, you know. But I personally think it's low self-esteem. I personally think it's low self-esteem. It's like them not happy with themselves, even though them have such a great job and them have all of the qualifications and the things them. what you think would make you seem happy. You know, you go through schooling, you're not struggling more, or you're not struggling any at all. You can pay all your bills. Yes, Kian, we see that you have to book smart and not street smart. Yeah, you have people who book smart and not street smart. Yeah. So street smarts goes a long way, especially in Jamaica, because a lot of people out here. All right, these are the persons now in Jamaica where you have them and them now educated any at all. You meet them every day. But I personally think they are not worse than the persons who actually smarter when it comes down to intelligence, because you know, you go through schooling, you do a few years in basic school, you do a few years in primary, you do a few years in high school, some people go college and some people go even university. So when you go through so much schooling, I personally think it should make you a better person and make you know how to interact with people on a whole. And not to stray from the topic, you know, but even persons at the hospital right now, you know, them supposed to provide medical care for people. And long before this corona thing, people would treat people badly based on what them think them can do or what them think them good for. So some persons, I would say it's a self-esteem issue. You don't accept yourself and accept you as a human. You know, so that's why you want to treat other people badly, especially in a race where majority of Jamaica, if not all of Jamaica, is black. So there's no need for any classism, racism, but it's still taking place. So these same persons, even when they go overseas, them get exposed to a different type of thing. So when them go like America, England, you know, China, Japan, because there are a lot of persons from Jamaica teaching in Japan right now, just the same. Them realize that when the treatment that they give persons in Jamaica, the people them what them actually know in them home country, it's that treatment that they're being given now when they enter another country. Even top acts in society will face this type of treatment. Spice did an interview once on IRFM, and she said that when she was traveling first class to a country because she was on tour, a little baby saw her on the line and said, "Oh, this is first class. This is the first class line. So what are you doing here?" And then she said, "I know that it's first class." But that's just classism and racism in one at that point in time. Even the younger babies in society, based on what they are exposed to from their parents, face that type of thing. So we really can't escape it. But I'm not sure if there's a way that people can actually learn from the things that they do. If everybody was to be a doctor, who would be the patient? Exactly. Exactly, Kian. That's the same thing I was talking about, you know. There has to be some diversification in society where it can propel the earth to make people live a different type of life and get exposed to different type of things. So as we say, it's like a jigsaw puzzle. Everybody have them specific piece where them fit. You can't cut off your little piece and expect to fit in another place. The picture won't add up. Exactly what I was talking about. So I know the persons who are watching must come through this and they be exposed to this type of thing, you know, get in some argument with somebody who think them better than them. So if you have any experiences you would like to share, you can share them. You know, it's a live chat. Everybody is seeing what's being said and such forth. And another thing that provokes this type of behavior right now is the present coronavirus amongst the world. You know, people will see you, and if you don't have on a mask or the most recent thing of them all is the whole vaccine thing. So at this point in time, everybody is being urged to take the vaccine and such forth. And based on where the world is going, you know, you can't do certain things without you take a vaccine. So persons I look at each other differently now if them take the vaccine or not, because they must say, oh, if you don't have the vaccine, you might give me corona or whatsoever. But I saw a video on the internet the other day where somebody was impersonating the behavior of people who took the vaccine and think that they're better than the persons who don't take the vaccine. Well, when in truth and fact, the person who take the vaccine has a lesser chance of catching the virus, right? So what the person was doing in the video is that for you persons who don't take the vaccine, you should stay over there because you might give me the corona animals, like, you know, you might give me the coronavirus, but at the same time, if you take the vaccine, you will have a lesser chance of getting the vaccine, getting the virus. And the person who doesn't take the vaccine will have a lesser chance to get the virus from you because you took the vaccine. So people are trying to use the vaccine for a different type of classism right now. And it doesn't make any sense, because if somebody takes it or somebody doesn't take it and they're in the room with the same person, the chances are lessened between both of them, because one is protected at a higher level and one is protected something else, you know. Okay, so my pharmacist friend, you know, the Tamlin girl, says no, he has a lesser chance of getting severe symptoms, not contracting it. All right, thank you for the correction right there. So as I've said before, the Tamlin girls, them tune in, them have a YouTube channel, them can discuss all of these things right now about the whole coronavirus and what's it about, type of lifestyles you can live to aid in your survival and you not get virus. So you can go and check out their page. It's very interesting. There's a lot of things you can learn over there, you know. So if she could just make another post on something where you can give us more insight on what you think about the vaccine, you know. Have you seen this type of behavior before, you know, persons who took the vaccine trying not to be in contact of persons who didn't take it or look down on them? If you could shed some light on that, you know, let the person see what you have in store on your channel, we can further understand, you know, because a lot of us don't understand the whole vaccine thing. We just work off a hearsay and such forth because of, you know, ignorance and, you know, a collective type of thing. You're in a group and your friends or your peers say, oh, I'm not going to take the vaccine. You don't want to take it when you don't know much about it, and vice versa. Your friends say, oh, the vaccine good for you. You don't know any facts or anything like that for your own, but you just go and take it. So if you could shed a little light on that from the Tamlin girls. But not to stick on this, but on a personal note, for persons who are taking the vaccine or who weren't taking the vaccine, I think it's more of a personal decision. So at this point in time, not a lot of countries are making it mandatory for the population to take the vaccine. But it's more of a personal decision at this point in time. So based on the information and based on your background medically, you can decide whether or not you want to take it. So Live Easy said also people these days are taking the vaccine not because they are scared of the virus, but actually afraid of losing their jobs or actually getting a job for that matter. All right, so that's a good comment from Live Easy. That's a good comment. And that's why I said it's more like a personal decision, because there are a lot of persons right now, as you said, who are taking the vaccine because they want to keep their jobs. And are taking the vaccine because they want to get a job or to even travel. Because some countries, you can't go there unless you have received your vaccine shots. So, to these people who are doing that, it's very sad that you have to get vaccinated in such a way to actually make a living, to actually live life basically, to travel. It's very sad because of that. But what the government is trying to impose is that if you take the vaccine, it would be better for you in the long run. But there's not a lot of persons who see the same eye with the government, because if you do look at some of the initiatives that the government should have put into place when it came on to the borders, especially in Jamaica, when the virus just came and the borders were closed, and then it's a country heavily dependent on tourism. So when the borders are closed, there's not a lot of currency flowing around in the country that is international. So this is why the government freed the borders, in the sense that it would be better for the country, thus opening the country to the virus itself. So unfortunately, we are being forced, in a sense, by our jobs and by travel and such forth. But it was actually in the process of trying to earn a living for the country in which the virus came in its highest form. So Tanisha says, I have a friend who got vaccinated because she was told either vaccine or she's gonna get fired. All right. That one must be close to home for you to understand that and can share that on a whole. But if I were in a situation like that, the first thing I would wonder is there anyone I can speak to about this situation? Because, as I said before, not a lot of countries are making the vaccines mandatory. A matter of fact, there are a lot of vaccines out there. They have the Johnson & Johnson and all of those other ones. So how will we know whether or not it's good for us, or whether or not this particular one will work for us? Some of them are one shot, some of them are double doses. So, your job gonna tell you, get vaccinated or don't come back. Is there any form of advocate out there for people who are facing these type of things? If we are in this type of situation, what can we do for ourselves? So Tamlin Girl said that they are putting in some stuff for people who think they can't do without traveling. They are putting in on that you can't do, which one is best for you. So live easy at Tanisha, exactly. What's happening, especially in hospital industries? Yeah. So, I don't want to lie on camera, but I think there was a argument going around in some time ago where the Prime Minister said something about frontline workers, like for instance the nurses. They aren't. There was something said about them when it pertains to the vaccine. So some of them not taking the vaccine and aren't working, and there was a strike at point in time. So these are some of the things that make people afraid to take the vaccine on a whole, because if the bigger heads aren't taking it, and if the medical staff, some of them are reluctant to take it, what will actually happen? Why the majority of the population should take it, and why are persons being barred from their jobs and barred from traveling when they're supposed to take it? So just a few things that are aiding to it. But we've been in the corona topic for a long time now. So what are your personal experiences when it comes on to either the virus or being able to live life on a whole, being in a situation where the psychological state of people are being troubled a lot when it comes down to financial reasons, when it comes down to their jobs, when it comes down to the spouse. So throughout the pandemic, there's been an increase of people who are facing psychological issues. They even had some advertisements coming on the TV where there was a number being displayed where if you needed to talk to someone, you can talk to them about the things that are happening in your life, because a lot of persons are having psychological issues right now. Is it easy for you to go about your day and do the things that you have to do? Or has the times become more stressing? Were you the type of person who would engage in parties, go out a lot and, just mingle with people? Or this doesn't really matter to you at all, it doesn't bother you? So Kayan said no one should be forced to take the vaccine. She doesn't believe in that. Yes, that's a personal decision, Kayan. And the Tamil girl said that the whole situation is getting to persons mentally. Exactly. It's very easy right now to trigger people when it comes down to a simple conversation. And sometimes it's not even the ignorance of the person or the intelligence of the person. It's just that it's been almost 2 years now or such short when it comes down to the pandemic. There's not a lot to be done. There's not a lot of enjoyment. You can do. Some beaches are blocked. You have the curfew. You have limited time hours. You have people with multiple partners who want to enjoy themselves, but there's no way to do that. There's a lot of things to consider when you look at the psychological state of Jamaica when it comes down to the pandemic. And then there's the issue of the lockdowns. So it's like you will never know when another lockdown will hit. At first, it was just a curfew, you work and then the curfew, and then there's a 2-week lockdown, and then there is the 3-day lockdown, and then there's the Sunday lockdowns, and now there's the holidays in the lockdown. So a lot of people don't have a lot of things to do to free their mind because they're not used to things like, for instance, like to read a book or spend more time with their family. And for persons, when it comes down to spend more time for their family, what about the people who are being abused, psychologically, physically, and emotionally? So when you have to spend more time with the people who don't treat you right, your own flesh, your own blood, or the persons you are staying with based on the situation, how does that affect people? What will actually happen to them when you check their mental state? And the rationality of their actions. What will they do next? It's so hard to predict these type of things. So the virus and the pandemic has a wide hit on the earth, the whole world, a lot of things that are happening. And in a state where you can't do the things that you want to because you're not making enough money, and the pandemic came about in a way that you weren't able to structure yourself financially. It would bring you back to a thing like the Squid Games, because it's the hottest thing right now for people. So imagine if there was actually a Squid Game for the real world. What would people be willing to do when it comes down to them being broke, not having money? Would they give up their normal living in life and go do something irrational as that, where they're actually risking their life to pay off debt and those form of things? And if you should apply certain things and certain lessons from that, you will see that a lot of us are living our own Squid Games in real life. Like for the persons who turn to prostitution, for the persons who turn to scamming, the persons who turn to a lot of illegal things, a lot of things that they wouldn't be proud to speak about. A lot of us would be living our own Squid Games. And the virus, as it relates to This is one of my upcoming videos right now. This is one of my upcoming videos right now where I want to talk about the status of education in Jamaica or education in the world, because I have a few teacher friends and we have conversations where it comes to whether or not students are learning in Jamaica or it's just a waste of time. So the whole online schooling isn't working for the best of some Jamaicans. Even the teachers themselves are frustrated. So I had a recent conversation, I think it was Friday, with a old teacher from my high school, and she was telling me that it's very pressuring, it's very tiresome because she can't have the freedom of walking and talking to each student and actually, giving them one-on-one lessons and giving them a different structure as it relates to learning, because not everyone learns in the same aptitude or the same speed. So when some persons will come online and then the teacher talks to them, they mute their mic, and then the teacher can actually get them to express what is actually happening and what they think. So that was an issue, and that is still an issue for the country. So Livizi says, I think personally if there was one vaccine, there wouldn't be any problem. However, because there are a variety, personal choice comes into play and the essence of a paradox of choice. That's a good comment. That's a very good comment from Live Easy. That's the same thing I was thinking. So there's a lot of vaccines about the place that you can take, and people have a choice whether or not to take this or take that. They have the Pfizer, the Johnson & Johnson. But what's really the difference between all the vaccines? If they're such working in all the same way, what are the difference between that? Tamilin girls, you have anything to say on that? I would like to hear your opinion on that, to see if you have something you would like to say upon that. So I'm not sure what's the difference between the vaccines. I only know that some are 1 doses and some are 2 doses. And when you look at the instance where India was giving Jamaica how much doses of vaccines for our country, but at the same time, when you check India's population, there are hundreds of thousands of people there suffering before the actual virus came about. So you can just imagine what's actually happening there. So there are a lot of factories who produce clothing for bigger brands like Gucci, Off-White, those big brands. So they issue out, they have a lot of t-shirt companies there just the same. So they issue out a contract to the factories in India, and they get like $1 or $2 per hour, and the working conditions aren't the best working conditions for people to be in. So when you think of a country like that going to give Jamaica some of their vaccines or producing it for our country, you would only ask the question, why wouldn't they give it to their population? I understand sharing is caring, and that's good, and that's all in the best interest of the world. But what's their strategy of improving their economy and improving their people when they are issuing out these type of things? So Kian says, that's the problem. If there is many, I'm assuming she says that if there's too many, how can one choose without knowing the meaning behind the names? All right, so the meaning behind the names, they are a separate entity. Just to be clear, they are separate entities who create the vaccines and then distribute them amongst the world. So when you look at that, you'll only wonder what's the difference and if they work all in the same way. So that's just the thing with the vaccine. Yeah. So that's just another issue where when it comes on to the whole vaccination processes. And I think the world should just come together, or some of the countries in the groups like Commonwealth or CARICOM. Tommy C TV is here, tuned in. You can also check out Tammy's YouTube channel. She has a lot of content coming soon. She is planning to do some vlogs, about conversations that you might not have out loud, and a lot more things. So Revaldo Balfour tuned in. All right, so for persons who are just coming on, the basis of the video right now is about persons who are educated, or say smart but dumb at the same time. Basically means that they're qualified in school, they have a good amount of qualifications where it would help them or aid to their success in society, but they don't know how to deal with people. All right, so Tamlin Girl says, difference in dosage, side effects, and how each work. Okay, so just like how you have a brand drug and a generic drug. Okay, so that's how it works. All right, the Lamich sisters are here. They just released a video on their channel just the same. After this live, you can go and check them out and see what's that video about. So as I said before, for persons who are coming on Tamlin Girls, they have a YouTube channel about, vlogging and those type of things, but she is a pharmacist, so she knows a lot about the actual dosage and about how the vaccine works and such forth. So if you want some more information, you can go and watch some of her videos. She recently did a video about breast cancer and breast cancer awareness. So you can go and check that out. Alright, so, but for me really, as someone said in the comment, why I didn't just have one? Okay, so Tamlin Girls is saying that she's very indecisive herself, and she works in the medical field. She knows what's happening. She's very in tune. They are very in tune on what's happening in the medical field. That's their job. So Live Easy said, so true, concept of the mind. India people are dying, yet still they have found a good heart, wink wink, to give Jamaica some of their vaccines. So proud of them. All right, Live Easy. Good point, good point. You're coming with some good points. I have to give you that. Lamish sisters said blessings. So the Tamlin Girls, really nice things to check out about their channel. Some of the information that I actually know, I've watched some of their videos to understand completely what was happening, and she gave me some insight on that just the same. She's a very nice person. Oh, they are sisters, by the way, so they are very nice persons. I'm just grouping them collectively based on the channel, but you can go and check out their content. But there's a lot of things that you can find out about the whole coronavirus, about, from their channel. They have a lot of videos on that. So, back to the topic at hand. Persons who are educated but are limited when it comes down to reasoning, understanding in the real world. And there's a point I want to make. I don't want to give out too much information on a video that I have coming, but there's a point I would like to make. There's a difference between retention and actual understanding. So when you go to school and you do your work and whatsoever, there's a difference between retention and understanding. So there are persons when you go to school who actually remember well. They don't necessarily grasp the concept of what is happening, so they just remember, they study, and they try to imprint all of the information on their brains, so they won't forget it any at all. So whenever they go into their tests and exams, they can know what to write on the paper, not a complete understanding. So this is why some teachers used to tell you that whenever you're writing, give it in your own words. What is your definition for such and such? So don't repeat what you learned. So for persons who are actually remembering now and understanding the whole concept of what is being taught in schools, these are the persons who have a better emotional understanding, a better, feel of persons and know how to deal with them. So this is where you have practical learners, and then you have persons who just read and understand and learn. So that's the difference between them. All right, Tanisha said, I know a few persons in the medical field that are strongly against the vaccine. Yeah, so at that point in time, again, how can persons in the medical field and persons who are frontline workers on a whole be against something that is a benefit towards mankind? What's the whole meaning behind that? Is there some secrets that are being withheld from the public and they know but they can't necessarily disclose it because of the nature of where it's coming from? Or it's just the sense that they are themselves ignorant about the situation and would like to share it but don't know? So what's the meaning behind that? There's a lot of conspiracies going around in the whole coronavirus thing. There's a lot of conspiracies going around. Some people think it's to minimize the actual growth of the population amongst the world. Some people say a whole lot of things where will blow your mind. Even on the radio, sometimes you hear a lot of persons come on with some interviews and sharing their views of what it is. And then if we were to look at certain indications of the mask, where you have on a mask and the lower part of the mask right here does not fully cover you, and then the upper part of the mask, about this section, when it covers, you still have a few airways right here. So does the mask actually work? And at the same time, when it covers your ear, the strings that go around your ear, there's a leeway right here for air to go in. So that's the first thing that came to my mind when they were telling us all to wear a mask. And then after that, they said the virus was mutated and now it can be transferred from surface to surface contact, and it's now actually in the air that we breathe. So if it's in the air that we breathe, how can the mask stop it? But here's another point. When you check the price for a mask, I see persons selling a mask or a pack of masks for 100 for 10, and these persons are still making profits off of these things. So they're making profits just the same. So if you are selling 10 masks for $100, I'm assuming that you make like $20 profit off each one, just to say. But if they are so cheap, how can they help with us not catching the virus? Will that actually work? And then when it relates to the vaccine, just the same, there isn't a guaranteed, that it will protect you 100% from the virus. Even a condom will last longer than the vaccine mentally when you think about it, because a condom protects you 90% of the time as long as you put on the condom properly, right? But the right dosage, different vaccines, and they're even telling you about the double shots where you can get vaccinated now and then 3 months later you can get another vaccination process itself. So if the vaccine is so great, why would we choose to get another vaccination process done? So it's all very shaky in what it is and what it's about. But it's the world that we live in, so we have to work alongside with it, because there is no one person who can go against it all. And most nations can't even go against it all. So it's about what we are willing to do at this time, and if we are going to be complacent in life and just forget about the whole working and mixing and mingling with people, which cannot be done. That cannot be done any at all for human beings, because human beings are social beings. So we have to, be social with people. We have to go out and go to the supermarkets. We have to go out and indulge and do things that will aid to our life. And even at this point in time, I still can't understand why, when it comes on to the Saturdays, the day before the Sunday lockdown, the supermarkets are still sold out, they are still ransacked, and what's actually going to happen? When again will the curfew times be changed? And when will the lockdowns be cancelled? And for that matter, at what point in time, at what percentage will the lockdowns be completely done with, when there's a certain percentage of the country being vaccinated? What is the aim for the vaccination? Are they looking for 100% vaccination from the country? Because if so, that is impossible. If everyone even made the decision to, yes, get vaccinated, how will we reach some of these persons in the deep rural areas where there isn't even electricity? How will we reach these persons? That's just something from my mind. And back to the actual goal of it. What is the goal of the government? What percentage of the country are you seeking to be vaccinated before you can say, all right, we'll reopen schools, we'll lessen the restrictions on certain things, we can start keeping more get-togethers, funerals can be more free, church ceremonies can be more free, weddings, parties, and those type of things. At what point in time, what is the aim for all this? I didn't get any form of information where you was saying that, yes, this is the aim, we're just here and get vaccinated. So Tamlin Girl said that's my point, since they vaccinate only reduce the changes and getting the most severe symptoms. Why not educate persons of the importance of boosting the immune system? Yes, Tamlin Girls. I saw a video relating to this on your channel that said ways to boost your immune system. So a lot of businesses are taking a part in this market right now. They're using it as a business strategy for their brand, even the Tetley brand. So they're making super teas right now to boost your immune system. So how can we actually know if our immune system is at tip-top shape, and what are some strategies that we can use to boost our immune systems? Because as much as we are Jamaicans, and you would think that we depend on herbs and certain type of leaves, to actually get our immune systems corrected, we are only limited to what we know. So a lot of persons aren't familiar with certain things, because if we were to call some of the names of some of the serious herbs that can actually help you with your immune system and such forth, a lot of persons wouldn't know these things. Even if they knew it, they would be something that they heard of from their grandparents. So it's not necessarily something that they are definitely into and know about. So what are some of the things that we can do to actually boost our immune system? Okay, so Michael Asphalt Jr. channel is here. Good afternoon to you too. All right, so he's a Christian, and his channel is about, preaching the gospel, getting into a spiritual realm and understanding spirituality in this sense. And he's also a singer. So you can check out his YouTube channel just to see him. He posts very often, very, very often. So he's saying I can sing and I can play music, yeah. So that's something I just said to them. So you can check out his channel afterwards. So Michael, what are your views on some of the topics that we had touched? All right, so we've been on the topic of where intelligent persons are not so intelligent when it comes on to dealing with people, and we're also on the topic of the coronavirus. What are the things that you don't quite understand and the things that you should, you think should be more clearer to the public? What are your views on that? You can just let us know, because there are persons here who are actually interested in the opinions of others. And if you like this video so far, you like the live stream, and you'd like to see it every Sunday, you can just tell me on or offline. Leave it in the comments or contact me on Instagram at Concept of the Mind, because these are some of the topics I will be going over. I have a few videos in store right now if you would like to get a sneak peek or whatsoever, or some of the actual things that I will be speaking about, the laws of attraction, how sexual attraction actually comes about, these type of things. So, stay tuned for these topics that are coming up, and you can also share the link for the channel. As you can see, we've passed 1,000 subscribers and we're still climbing. So let's just share out the channel to other persons who would have opinions that are very similar to this and would like to discuss these things and the nature of them. All right, so, and you can also tell me some of the topics that you would want me to talk about, some of the things that you would want me to get into, because I am not afraid to break down the concept of things and share my opinion. This is what my channel is about. Most of the things that I speak about on this channel is my opinion. There are facts entwinkled with it, but my opinion and my thoughts on certain things that are actually happening, and some of the things that we aren't hearing in society, some of the things that aren't being talked about. So if you have something you would want to say, you can just come out with it, tell me about it, and I'll do some research. I'll think about it rationally and make a video about it and tag you in it and give you a shout out just the same. Because when we check the levels, there are not a lot of persons willing to do this. Everyone is in it for the hype, everyone is in it for the name and the fame. So those are just some of the things. All right, so the plan is to carry it up to 1 hour, so we have approximately 6 minutes left. I personally enjoyed this video. I've gotten some insight from some of the viewers and some of my subscribers on pressing topics that aren't being discussed by people. So I really like the opinions that and the lessons you shared, some of your experiences. So the goal is to carry it to 1 hour. So let me know what you think. Would you like to do this every Sunday, every other Sunday? Have deep discussions about things where you can actually learn something, where you can actually have a conversation and understand completely. And after the live is finished, you can also share the link to the video and let persons see where and what we have spoken about at what point in time, and they can leave their comments just the same. So I hope most of you or everyone is enjoying their Sunday, and tomorrow is Heroes Monday for my Jamaican viewers. For the international viewers, you can also do some research on that to understand what is Heroes Monday for Jamaica and what it actually means to us. So October, the month for the heroes, Marcus Garvey, any of the Maroons, all of these persons who made sacrifices for us to have such great lives and free lives to live. So that's for the international fans. and international subscribers just the same. So as I said before, I want to try this every Sunday. So you can leave a topic where you think I could hop on to, and I'll just get it done for you. So we have a good amount of persons here who tuned in. Thanks to everyone who tuned in. And I think that's about it. Carried close to an hour, as close as possible. So thanks to everyone who viewed. Thanks to everyone who came on. And thanks to everyone who is sharing. And thanks to the persons who actually shared their opinions and what they thought about the topics. And I hope to do this every Sunday. So stay tuned for more. I have a video coming in this week also. I do a lot of recording because there are a lot of concepts of the mind out there I would like to share. Okay, so that's about it. Thanks for viewing, everyone.